Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Hello, Yinka.
Hi, Natasha. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so excited for today. Happy International Women's Day, first and foremost.
Yeah, it's International Women's Day once a year, and you guys are here with us. So thank you. It is, what day is it today? It's Tuesday, right? So it's
It's
NFT
Tuesday.
Tuesdays, our second NFT Tuesdays of this month of March. Remember, we're here the entire month of March, and we're going to spend the day getting to know a lot of women in the International Women of Blockchain, right? So we're going to have artists coming on, telling us about their journeys into the space and sharing their NFT creations.
All right. We had some technical difficulties. We assumed that perhaps maybe you guys did not hear us. So hopefully you are hearing us. So we had to go offline and reset everything, make sure that you are hearing us. So Natasha, you're
All
on
right,
mute.
no worries. We're still here. We're back, you guys. We didn't leave
Yes,
you. We're right back like we never left. Okay, so you
exactly.
know, as I was saying, it's NFT Tuesdays. We're going to bring on some wonderful ladies to share their NFT collections and creations and their journeys with us. And that's what we do here every day in the month of March. We're going to be bringing in women from all over the world, talking about what they're doing in this blockchain ecosystem.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be really interesting today because we have so many different people, women from all across the globe. We have a few NFT artists from Nigeria, Ghana, Portugal. We have Spain. I believe we have Brazil too. So we have people all over the place who are about to come and show out and showcase their work. We also have artists in the US as well. So this is international. So you guys are about to be amazed by these NFT artists and what they're presenting and what they're creating. So I'm really excited about this. It's going to be fun.
All right, we do want to remind everyone to connect with our Discord after the conference so you can connect with the community, which is the speakers, the committee, the other audience members. And also, we have information on our sponsors. If you look in there under Celebrate Her, there's bios for the speakers, for our committee members, and definitely check out our sponsors Block, Hero, Definisty, and Copper Seed Save. Are we ready to
Yeah.
kick off the morning, Yinka?
Yeah, I'm ready. We had a fantastic Monday. Naja Roberts, did her thing on Monday with her panel discussions and the keynote speaker from Sneakerdoodle, Shira. So it was fantastic. I really appreciate that. We also had consensus up in the house with Shaylee. So it was a wonderful morning yesterday. And I'm really excited about today because it's International Women's Day. And, we've been doing this, like you mentioned, since the beginning of March. It's going to be throughout the entire month. And we don't stop. We don't stop the celebration. We're going to continue the celebration even after today. It's all throughout the month of March. And we want y'all to tap in because we have great discussions every single day of the week. And that's the truth. Every single day of the week, even on the weekends, we have great things lined up. So today we're going to focus on NFTs, which is awesome. Non-fungible tokens. All right. Well, Natasha, let's go ahead and let the first, speakers present. Her name is Georgette, and she's going to come on stage. And Georgette, is going to grace us with some wonderful art and tell us about herself. Georgette, welcome and a good afternoon to you. I know you're in Ghana, right?
Yeah, I'm in Ghana. Hi, Yinka. It's been a while. Yeah, it's
Good, good,
afternoon
good.
here.
Awesome. We're going to leave you and let you present your give information about yourself and present your work.
All right. So let me try and get the screen share up.
So while Georgette is loading her presentation, I want to know if she can talk. So maybe perhaps she can go ahead and introduce herself and,
Okay,
tell the world what she's all about and what she's about to present.
definitely. So my share is telling me I need to restart Chrome. So should I do that and come back in?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
All right.
This
So
it is a virtual event. As everyone is aware, technology doesn't always work the way that you want it to work. So if you need to restart, go ahead and restart.
all
I
right.
like to bring Natasha back up, and maybe we can have a dialogue while you come back. Hi, Natasha.
Hello, hello.
Yes, yes, yes. I just have to say you are looking beautiful this morning. I love it. I love the hair. It's straight. Looks nice.
Okay, so on this little break we have on this NFT Tuesdays, maybe we can highlight the fact that we have some special NFTs in the collection here for the conference to let everyone know where they can find them and maybe what the process is if they want to join in on that.
Yes, sure. So we are having NFTs that will be a combination of giveaway and some that you can auction to purchase during this event. We will start announcing when they are available, but we do have one that's available on Solana right now. So if you go to the Holoplex store, which is the IWB.holoplex, which is HOLAPLEX.com, you'll be able to find one of the pieces that we have put up for auction, which was created by our very own committee member, Nicole Maxwell, and she did a fantastic job. I think it's very beautiful, and you guys, I hope you love it as well. So go ahead and start the auction, start the bid. And once again, it's IWB.hola, HOLA, Plex, PLEX.com.
All right, thanks for sharing that information, Yinka. Just so you know, we do have things we've made just special for this event for you.
Yes. Yeah. We have a lot of great things that are lined up for all of our audience members. And one thing that we want to say is that this whole space is really intergenerational, right? It's not just male dominated, females are dominating as well. And so are young kids. Young kids are involved in selling NFTs successfully. Last year, there's an artist that successfully sold her NFT, Nyla, the long necky ladies. Long necky ladies has been a phenomenon that was brought on by, at that time, a 12-year-old. And she was able to sell it, and it for $4 million, I think, a little bit over $4 million. And she was very successful. Now she's all over the place. I'm sure she's thinking about other collections that she's creating. But I just think that's fantastic. This is a space that anybody can get involved in, and anybody can participate. And if you put in enough work, marketing is very important. But if you put in enough work, you'll definitely see success. And one thing that Nyla did was purchase our very own Natasha's daughter's artwork. What is it? My Dark Cats, right?
Yeah, that was an exciting day for us and my daughter. We do have the My Dark Cats collection. It is still on OpenSea, and Nyla is a collector. She's one of our treasured collectors, and so we hope to have more collectors. And the focus of our collection is to give back to autism support organizations, because that is a cause that's really close to our hearts. And like, we have had a lot of our NFT artists share their different motivations for their collections, and almost always there is something in addition to a monetary gain, which NFTs can't, they do definitely have a business side, and you can definitely have some monetary enrichment from NFTs. But oftentimes when it comes to the women who are in the space, they have additional goals outside of themselves and more of an altruistic leaning towards their collections.
That is so true. That is so true. So, I want Nicole, since she's the artist that created the NFT piece that's on Holoplex right now, which is part of Solana. And for those of you that don't know, there's several different chains, blockchains that have been created, and Solana is the latest one. It has a marketplace. It has various capabilities, and one of the great use cases is that it has low gas fees, as well as it also has a faster speed than other chains out there. And I tend to like it a lot because it gives you a lot of options. I think it's created more so for the artist, because there is a store, there's an individual store, so you don't have to attach yourself to a marketplace. And Holoplex is one of those places where you can create your own store. So I think that's fantastic. All right, we do have Georgette that's coming back up. Georgette, go ahead and get ready to come back up and share your NFT collections.
Okay, so I think we're going to do a quick brief intermission, get things all squared away, and we will be back in just a few short minutes.
All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. All right, so we have Georgette all squared away. She's ready to present. Once again, I'd like to introduce everyone to Georgette, who's in Ghana. She's an NFT artist, and she's about to present her collection. And actually, there's something special about Georgette, because one of her pieces was purchased by a very famous situation. So, Georgette, take it away.
All right. So, hi everyone. I'm Georgette. I'm a digital artist from Ghana, and yeah, I got into the NFT space about a year ago. I heard about it earlier, but I was in my final year of school when I had my projects, so I couldn't really be doing art as well. So I was just like trying to graduate and then get into NFTs. So I graduated, and then in June, I finally like dived into NFTs. And um, before that, every time people saw my art, they were like, "Yo, have you heard about NFTs? Have you heard about NFTs?" And so that's how I got into the NFT space. And for this purpose, I'll be showing my Faces collection. and that's one of the most that's the one Twitter collected actually. That's one of my most liked collections. So it's basically me expressing how I feel with various masks. And from where I'm from, that's Ghana, and generally Africans, we do have a lot of masks for various things, for various cultural phenomena and various, events. And I realized that I didn't really used to see them around. And then I started like noticing them when I noticed my friend had some in his house. I was like, yo, why do you have this in your house? Like mentally, they're like, yo, it's all demonic and stuff because we are mostly like Christian nation. But then I was like, I took a step back and I was like, this is really beautiful and it has significance. So why should I like mar something that's totally unrelated with other prejudices? So I started to learn more. And there's another artist, Kofi. He also does African masks. And when we met, it just sort of made me understand them more and actually want to research them. So I also really like comics. So my style kind of looks comic like, and I love gradients and using noise because I believe the texture in your digital art could make it look physical. So I'm going to start with Drained. So Drained is one of is the it wasn't the first, but I did this while I was in college and I was just feeling drained. Everything was so much. I had so many courses, assignments due, and I wanted to do my art and still like push my art. So it was very, very difficult for me at that point. And then I decided to make this piece, sit down and make a piece. And I called it Drained. So if you look at it, you notice that the face is transparent. It's actually melting. And that's why it's called Drained, because at this point I was totally drained. And this piece, Faces, is the original. This was before I even understood what digital art meant for me. I didn't really know how to use the stuff I wanted to use the way I wanted to use it. That's why I'm using this particular picture because this is the actual first version of Faces before I improved it when I got into NFTs and I got more experience as a digital artist. So I basically just thought about masks and tried to capture what I think a really cool piece I would like to see in um, a museum or a gallery, and this was it. And then I showed my roommates, and they're like, "Wow, that's so ugly. It's beautiful. You should definitely post that on Instagram." And I was like, "Nah, they know me as a graphic designer. Why am I coming to post some art on there?" And we, I ended up posting it, and everybody was like, "Yo, we didn't know you were an artist too. Keep it up. Like your work is really good." So that's when I started to notice that I could actually do arts like outside graphic design. And one of my favorite pieces that is Singing Faces. So Singing Faces is a really happy piece. And not many of my pieces are happy because I make them in times of distress. And Singing Faces is one of my favorites because it's just like good vibes. I love music so much and I vividly remember the day I made it. And my roommates and I were in our apartment back then, and we're listening to music. And I was like, yo, this is like a good moment. And I decided to make some art. And like, I was listening to some piano music, which is like a South African genre. And then they use a lot of drums, and sometimes they're like strings and horns. And I was trying to get that incorporated. So if you notice, there's a guitar, and I try to use lines to show that there's motion and music going on aside the actual musical sounds. And then here, I really, really, really experimented with gradients because I feel like music is bright, and my usual gradients are monotone. Like they either go from one color to another, or um, they are the same color but in subtle shades. But for this piece, I actually went crazy with the gradients just for some sections, just to show that the music is powerful and it's beautiful. On my foundation, this piece is animated, so it has a beat I made, and then it's actually the piece is actually called Chi Chi, the song, because my friends shout Chi Chi in the outro, and it's so funny to me. So this piece is just like good vibes to me, and that's why I love this piece so much. So it's up on my foundation. I usually do airdrops to my collectors because I like to work in major different colorways. So for the animated piece, there's a still airdrop for that in a different colorway. Okay, and then let's go with Bloom. So Bloom is one of my favorite pieces. This was when I finally started getting comfortable with digital art, and my friend sent me an illustration made in Figma. And I was like, yo, I finally master one thing, and I see there's another frontier I could master as well. I'm going to make a piece in Figma. And she was like, yeah, go ahead. So I made it. And initially, I didn't like the way colors rendered in Figma, so I was not going to post it. And she was like, oh, I should take it into Photoshop and see. So I took it into Photoshop, adjusted colors, and it worked out perfectly. And I really liked the piece. So most of the faces are on the secondary markets on my um, foundation and on my OpenSea, and this piece is one of them. All right. This is also, I feel like all my pieces are my favorites, but this piece was the first piece I sold a physical of. So it's also special to me. It was, I don't even know how I made it. I decided to experiment with various character features because I thought the masks could be sort of deconstructed and put together in sort of a Lego piece. So I was playing with that idea. And then, as usual, I have my really bright gradients with noise going on in the background. And when I was done, I was like, this piece looks like it knows all my secrets because it looks so sassy. It looks like it's telling me to try it. And I really love that about this piece. And this is Grief. Grief is listed on my foundation for 1 ETH. And Grief came at a really heavy point in my life where I was going through grief, and the whole family was actually. And I noticed the effects grief has on you. And it's everybody was crying, eyes heavy. There's so much that goes on mentally. That's why there are color changes in the head of the mask. Because there's more to grief than your physical tiredness. And I went with a dark color scheme because in Ghana there are funeral colors, which are usually black, white, and red. And so I decided to try and stay within these to sort of get the idea across. This is also an illustration. Also, people think it's 3D. And for the last piece I'll present, that is called Pastel Dreams. And it's in um, uh, an exhibition going on right now at the I Am Not Arts NFT Gallery in Chicago. And it was covered by the CNN Vault as well. So the theme for the exhibition was paradise. And if you're familiar with my work, you will notice that I have a character in my skin series called Simba. And that series just explores the beauty of black skin and how light interacts with it. And so I decided to put the paradise into the context of the skin series because I wanted to explore black love and black, I don't know, just make I didn't want trauma. I didn't want trauma art. I wanted a peaceful situation. And the first thing I thought was pastels. So when I was doing the backgrounds, I started out with my gradients, moved into Blender, moved into Photoshop, moved into Illustrator just to make this piece. And it's up on Zora for 1 ETH. So that is me, that's my work, and the links are out here. It's out here. So all my links are in this major one. So you can find all my work on there. Thank you.
Georgette, that was fantastic. I love your pieces. I love your work. I do know that recently I was in a room with you, and Kofi had mentioned that one of your pieces was sold. So, can you talk about that?
Yeah, so that was a very, very crazy time. So, Twitter tweeted that they were looking for a new NFT profile picture. And I knew this was not just any show thread, it was the ultimate show thread. So I put four of my pieces. So let me switch to the pieces in case you could see. So I put faces, I put drained, and I put two others from the skin series. And they replied the tweet, but all this time I was asleep, so I did not know what was going on. I barely had network, so I didn't even know my tweet had sent. So if only I woke up, my phone was on Do Not Disturb, and I saw a lot of notifications on my Twitter. And I go and check, and Twitter replied, and they were like, "We would be interested in buying one of them." And my mind was blown because they actually did DM me. And then somebody was talking, somebody mentioned me and said, "Why have you seen the bids?" And I was like, "What bids?" And then I went to my OpenSea and I saw that the Faces collection was sold out. So I was already overwhelmed. And then I was like, "Yo, they bought everything. What's Twitter going to buy?" So then I was panicking for a bit and I realized I had work on other platforms as well. So then they DM'd me and asked, "Do I have work on any other platform?" And I said, "Yes, I do have these links." And then they chose Drained and then they purchased that. Then 2 weeks later, or was it a week later? Um, I was chilling, and then I go on at and with eyes emojis from Twitter, and my work was their NFT profile picture. So
Wow.
that's how that went.
So,
Yeah.
how does it feel to be appreciated for your work and to have people purchasing your work and the buzz around the fact that you were able to successfully sell your pieces and get the recognition that you've been looking for?
I think it was really significant in the fact that I've had imposter syndrome a lot.
Mm.
My friend actually texted me that, "Isn't it last year we were talking about battling imposter syndrome? And look at you now." Like he immediately, that was the first thing he tweeted because he knew that it was like validation that you're good at this and keep going. You can only get better. And then I was just shocked the whole time. I was sitting for like 2 hours not doing anything, like in shock, because it's crazy. It's just crazy.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. You deserve it. And congratulations once again. Really proud of you. Thank you
Thank you
for
so
showcasing
much.
your work. You're welcome. Thank you for
Glad to.
showcasing your work. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying glad to.
Awesome. Awesome. So, once again, her pieces are on Foundation and they're called Faces.
Yes, Faces by King Fixer.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Georgette. Thank you very much for joining us from Ghana. Really appreciate it. We're going to go ahead into a brief intermission while we bring up our next NFT artist, Tesla Matt. She's ready. Hey, I see you. All right. All right. All right.
Okay,
So I guess, are you ready? Are you ready? Or do we need to take a little?
let's go on a short break, but I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right. All right. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. We are back. So I'm really excited to introduce this young lady right here next to me. Her and you have a twin, right?
Yes.
Yes. So you'll see her twin some other time. So don't think that you're seeing, the same person over her, but you will see her twin, her and her twin. They came into the scene and they kind of disrupt the scene a little. They gave us
No.
everything
Hi, Inka. Hi, everyone. Yeah, let me just quickly do a brief introduction.
Yes.
My name is Taslimati Suf, and I'm a community manager in the NFT space, and I'm also a digital illustrator. Yeah, so I delved into NFTs last year, I think May, and since then the ride has like the journey, to be honest, has been really crazy, if I may say so, and like it's been really eye opening, and like it has actually been fulfilling because I feel like I'm doing something to like also help people from my country too, because my twin sister and I are building a small community. We're still building that, but we love like that we're able to like help people in our country to like come into the NFT space. So don't let me talk too much. I'm just going to share my work. I don't really talk about my work that much, so that's going to be yeah. So this is my OpenSea profile. I just launched, like coincidentally, I just launched my collection today. They are titled CC Echoes. So these are like everything. This is how they look like. And I started the CC Echoes last year, August 2021, and I did that to but growing up, my mom and her sisters, this is it. My mom and her sisters always like dress up like I don't know, like I looked up to them because they were like they had this amazing fashion sense. They were go getters, like, and like when my mom even tells me like our story growing up, I'm always like amazed, and I got inspired by that to like create my collection. And I created this last year, August 2021, and I did this on my phone. using a stylus pen, and I just wanted to like experiment using different platforms, and I listed on OpenSea. Then I was lucky enough, everything got sold out then. But this year, January, I was able to like get an iPad from proceeds from selling my NFTs. Yeah, and since then, like the works I've created, I've seen like the growth in them. So like that's what is evident in this my current collection. I just dropped this morning, and I've been able to like get 7 sales. I dropped 50 items. So like I'm using this to also celebrate my growth. You can see the obvious difference in them. And I also try to um show different, I don't have to explain, like make everyone feel represented with my work, because in this collection I have girls that cover their hair, people with vitiligo. Like I want it to be all inclusive basically, and I want to illustrate women the way I want them to be seen. So let me just scroll down for people to Paris for people to Paris before I keep on talking. I'm really proud of what I did, because you can see the obvious growth in my work. And like coming into the NFT space has been able to like give me that self-confidence. Even sometimes when I feel like my work is not really good, I've been able to meet people that will like help me boost my confidence and say, oh, your work looks amazing. And I want to put more Black women inspired work on the blockchain. I want people to like keep on seeing our work, keep on hearing our stories. People like I named I named each piece with a Yoruba name. So even if people that don't really know the meaning of the name, they will be pushed to like ask about it or even check out what it means. Like I want to put more of our works, more of our story and all on the blockchain. Yeah, so everything is still a learning process for me, but I like it's really really something fulfilling. So I don't know if I should share my foundation page, but I'm basically talking about my OpenSea because this is like my latest collection and the work is mind blowing. So the NFT space has been able to like make me feel or make me do more, and also help other people, because as I mentioned earlier, Tesserat and I Tesserat and I started a small community type called Non-Fungible Fridays. We host rooms every Friday, and our rooms always have like a theme. Let's say the first week of the month will be will spotlight people in the NFT space. On educating and onboarding people, because we realize that people that are already in the NFT or Web3 space, they fail to realize that we have new people coming into this space every day, and we need to like onboard people so they don't make the mistakes that we did or we made when we joined. So like that's why we're trying to use our platform for that, and it's been really 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 fulfilling. And yeah, so and NFTs have also made me to like develop my skills. I've worked with two Web3 companies. I'm currently working with one, and it's like the company I'm working with is a woman-led company, even though I'm the only Black woman on the team. But it's really amazing to see people do these things like with the resources around them. And I believe like the NFT space is going to like there's going to be a mass adoption pretty soon. There is already, but people are going to understand that it's more than PFPs. It's more than just selling your work. I understand. Yeah, I started it to be financially free, yes, but I came in for the art and I'm staying for the community basically, because you meet amazing people that you might not even be able to meet in real life. Imagine, can you talk with Gary V in real life? Like I've conversed with a lot of people that I know I might not even be able to see at all. So that the NFT community bridges that gap for people to like connect with each other. I'm over here in Nigeria and I'm talking with people in the US. I'm sharing my work with you. Yeah, like you understand what I'm trying to do. You're checking out my arts. I'm also like conversing with everyone. So the NFT space is more than just PFPs of apes or whatever. It's a community. That's why they call it a community. Yes. As I said earlier, I'm not used to talking about my work, so that's why I diverted into talking about the NFT space as a community. Yeah, so that's basically it. And hopefully I'll be able to start my mint fund, because it's when I started, it was really hard for me to get enough money for gas fees. I had to like tell my twin sister and my partner to send me it to pay gas. And when you convert the money to naira, the money is a lot, so some people might not be able to afford to pay their gas fees. So I'm thinking of starting a mint fund. I'm going to do that with this collection. I'm going to like fund one or two people first mint, so at least make people start, and they can use proceeds from their sales to like fund their next meal. So just want to make people to be financially free and onboard them into something that can be life changing for them. So that's basically what I'm trying to do in this community, and create art that I love along the line. Yes, I'm done speaking. I've talked for too long. Hi, Yinka. I'm so sorry. I know I kept on talking for a while.
No,
But
never apologize. Never apologize. No, you did a fantastic job. Love the pieces. A lot of
thank
comments
you.
in the section. They also loved it as well. So great
Thank
job.
you all.
Congratulations. And thank you very much. See, love the pieces. Excellent work.
Thank
Yes,
you, everyone.
yes.
Thank you so much. It's on my Twitter account, and I've been getting a lot of love on it. It's 50 pieces. That's a lot, but I think gradually I'm going to like make the sales I want. So I'm just pushing out my work and talking more about it. I'm going to be having a drop party pretty soon today. So if anyone wants to opt in after this event, just come in. That's 3 p.m. EST. So see, I'm already doing promotion too. Let me just stop.
I see you. Well, thank you very much and congratulations once
Thank you,
again.
Yinka.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. So amazing to meet you guys, and I love what you're doing. I love that you organized this for everyone to come up, especially women, because I believe we need that platform to talk about ourselves. Like the Web3 space or NFT space is bro, and I love to see women supporting each other basically. So thank you so much for this.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on board. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for
Bye.
the amazing comments. Bye.
All right. Next up, we will have another NFT woman artist that will come and present her work. This is a different genre of NFT. So you guys are going to be exposed to a whole lot of different NFT pieces in this event. So we will take, actually, I think she's ready. So I'm going to go ahead and have Tony come up. Tony, come on up.
Hello.
Hi, Tony.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining us. I know you're on the West Coast.
West Coast, yes.
It's really early. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes. And
So
thank you for having me. I absolutely appreciate being here today with you. Thank you.
No, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. I can't wait to have you showcase your work because as I mentioned, this is a different shift in the different type of NFT pieces that we're seeing. So you're in a different genre. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes,
And
of course.
go ahead.
Thank you. So yes, my name is Tony Payne, and I am a still life and documentary photographer. I am also the host of the NFT talk show podcast, where I talk everything and anything NFTs, mainly education about NFTs, because a lot of my listeners are new to NFTs and just looking for information. And of course, I try to make it as fun as possible, not just the super serious stuff. I do a little gossip on there as well. That's when I say, oh, I have the tea in NFTs, but mainly I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for many, many years. Discovered NFTs 2021. I'm a summer NFT recruit. And it has been an interesting journey ever since. And when people ask me about NFTs, the first thing I always tell them is, are you ready? Because you need to be ready. It's a lot of work. I know when I came into NFTs, nobody really prepared me for the amount of work that was going to go into being in NFTs. It was more like, oh, these things are just selling. And I'm like, wait, what? I mean, yes and no. You do have to put that work in. Yes. And, being somebody that has a background in PR, and I kind of knew, while researching NFTs, that I wanted to, if I was going to do it, I wanted to, go all in, meaning not just sell my art, but position myself as somebody on both sides. So when I say both sides, I mean, you have your artists and you have your information givers. So what I did was with the podcast and everything else that I've been doing outside of just creating art, was make sure that I was also a resource. So it's always smart to know where you're going in something that you're fully invested in. So yes, I'm gonna talk about my work, the fun stuff. So like I said, I do create still life pieces in NFTs. I am very, very particular about branding. So the first thing that I did when I hopped into the NFT community was build out my own website called TonyPayneNFT.com. And, I'm, as much as we are in Web 3, we still have to be very mindful that Web 2 is still very relevant, and Google search is still very, very relevant. So the first thing I started doing was paying attention to, how things were being done in NFTs. And I noticed a lot of people were not taking advantage of brand building and SEO. I still, till today, almost a year in, I still think SEO is very, very important. If you Google search the word still life photography NFT, I'm like all over. I'm like number one. I am all over the place. And I think these things are very, very important if you're trying to position yourself as, how am I going to, a pace setter, or somebody that was here. We always say we're early, we're first, we're this and that. If you're trying to position yourself as an early arrival person, it is always good to kind of, dot your I's and cross your T's, or cross your T's and dot your I's, whichever one you prefer. So the first thing I did was build out a website, because I already had other websites for my photography, but not NFT related. And I knew the importance of when NFTs start to get popular, the word NFT in my web address name was going to be very, very crucial and critical. So I decided to just build out its own website by itself, independent of my other websites that I already had. And that was what birthed Tony Payne NFT photography. And my tagline obviously is freezing moments in time, because that's what we do as photographers. As photographers, regardless of what you are shooting, you are literally freezing a moment in time. It could be still life, it could be wildlife, it could be portrait, it could be any form of photography. Is like literally capturing a moment and freezing it for eternity. And as long as that picture exists, or as long as that picture exists. All right. So yes, like I was saying, so my main offering in NFTs is still life photography. And I'm very, very, very big on colors. I love colors that pop, and you can kind of see it in, well, not kind of, you can see it in my work. I love the bright yellows. I'm a pink maxi. Even though you don't see a lot of pink in my work, but I do like really, really, I like warm tones, and I like vibrant tones. So you'll see a lot of that in my work. And a lot of my work has Baroque art influence. That's what I have studied for very long. And that's what I create. I look at the works of the old masters and I admire them so much. And, I know as a woman in NFTs, especially a Black woman in NFTs, especially a Black African woman in NFTs, we don't have a lot of us that, I don't even know if there's any other Black woman in NFTs that does still life in this form. I was asking the other day, and it was just crickets. Nobody knew. So I was told I was like the first, Black woman, or maybe even Black person, I don't know, to do still life photography. And I get it. It's not the most popular genre in NFTs right now. And if you look at history, if you look at the history of still life, when still life became a thing, or even before still life became a thing, when the old masters started painting still life, even when you could find still life in Egyptian tombs, it was like, okay, why? What is so significant and so important about a flower and a bowl and some fruit? What does it tell us? But when you really sit down and think about it, now look at us I'll use the Egyptian tombs for an example. If you look at some of the still life paintings that were painted then, us studying them thousands and thousands and thousands of years later gives you an idea what they ate, the types of foods that were important to them, the types of flowers that they liked, and things like that, the kind of cutleries they used. And when you look at it in the sense of right now, 2020 or 2021, 2022, we have to always understand that when we create things, 1,000 years will go by, 20,000 years will go by, and people will always wonder what flowers were relevant in 2021. What fruits did people like in 2022? What was the photography like in 2022? And this is one of the, I would say one of the reasons, one of the things I really, really like about still life is the fact that you could just take the mundane and literally make it beautiful and give it meaning. Meaning in 100, 200, 300 years from now, we're all going to know that Toni Payne ate figs from her work. And a lot of people say, oh, your work has looks like a painting. Like I said, I did study a lot of the old masters. So yes, a lot of my influence does come from there. And a lot of the way I shoot, the way I, work my style does come from the old masters, like your Picassos, your Vermeers. I did study a lot of their work to just kind of see their style. And I translate that in photography. And the reason I started doing that was because, for a very, very long time, photography has been underrated, right? You look at photography and people be like, okay, it's just a photo. I could take that with my iPhone. What's the big deal? And for me, it was like when I started doing still life, it was almost like I was trying to prove a point. Like, you know what? I'm going to take this picture. I'm going to do this thing, take this picture, and I'm going to put it next to your favorite painter still life piece and tell me if it's not just as beautiful. So that was, I'm a little stubborn. And that was where that started from. And along the way, I kind of just fell in love with, being able to compose. And, you look at it, still life is probably one of the, I shoot other genres. I do documentary. I'll get to that in a second. But for me, I think still life is probably the most difficult genre that I've ever worked in. And deciding to choose it as my main genre is, again, me being stubborn, because I love a good challenge. And I feel like it really challenges me. It pushes me to the limit, because sometimes you're like, okay, how do you even compose something to look good? Okay, so you put stuff on the table. How do you compose them to look beautiful? You literally working with just yourself and these items. There's nothing happening in the foreground or the background to help you out. You're like literally on your own. And for me, I felt like this was very, very, very important in terms of, the kind of work that I did and the kind of personality that I have. So yes, Still Life is, again, my first offering. This is one of my pieces. It's called Recode de Amor. I write poetry as well. And there's some of my pieces that come with its own poem. And the meaning is a love to be continued. So I wrote a poem called A Love to Be Continued. And it's just, about love and somebody falling out of love with you and you still want that love back, and you hope and want and need that love to continue because to you it was so beautiful. And that's pretty much what this piece is about, what Recolte More is about. And then I have, some of these pieces are already collected. The Smoke and Mirrors, which is the orange with the smoke in the mirror, that was collected today, actually. Yes, it was a commentary. This actually was a commentary piece I did about the NFT community, funny enough. And the reason I did that was last year, out of frustration, I felt like in the NFT space, a lot of people were not what they seem to be. Like, a lot of people will claim, oh, we're going to support artists, and then it's crickets, or a lot of interactions were not real. So I started noticing a lot of that, in terms of like, the space and where we were going. And I just decided to do a commentary piece on it. Like, a lot of this stuff is smoke and mirrors, so you need to be aware and I guess careful. So that's why when you look at the orange on the outside, it looks like an orange, but on the inside, it's not what it's cut out to be. So yeah, that was thank you. That was the inspiration behind Smoke and Mirrors. And moving forward, I have a collection on Foundation called Contemporary Still Life. Moving forward, a lot of my pieces, because I usually wait for pieces to be collected before I put up a new one, just so not to saturate it too much. And now that this piece has been collected, I'm creating a new one, and the new one is going to be, I could tell it. It's going to be commentary on the Kevins of our NFT world. So I'm already working on that piece. It's going to be a 2022 piece. And it's going to go into my Contemporary Still Life collection on Foundation. And again, I feel like, sometimes, well, not sometimes, people do use art to drive a message or remind people of a time. This is what was going on during this period, during this time. And I feel like moving forward, a lot of my still life pieces should be able to do that. So yeah, I'm working on a piece right now that will be a social commentary on, we overlook a lot of beautiful one-on-one art to buy Kevin's, and I find it a bit amusing because when I got into NFTs, because NFTs literally was supposed to be crypto art, and a lot of people are like, oh, we're here for the art, but it's really shifting when you look at it. So yeah, so moving on, I again do a lot. These are all still life pieces, but they're found still life. So found still life meaning things that capture my eye that I did not create and that I did not put the composition together. It could be on the streets, it could be anywhere. So these are found still life pieces that I shot, And again, you can see I'm a big on pop colors. My art can almost be defined as pop art because of my use of colors. But yeah, so again, I do shoot documentary photography as well. And one of the first collections that I did introduce when I started in NFTs was called Everyday Africa. And this is probably one of the dearest collections to my heart because it is part of my own heritage. And when I shot this collection, I didn't shoot it for NFTs. I shot it pre-NFTs. And the reason I shot this collection back in 2018 was because I wanted to kind of just document, we get a lot of Nigerians get a lot of bad rap in the media and things like that. And I wanted to document like the average person is hardworking. We're going about our business. We're lively people. We're joyful people. And we're honest, living, earning people. So I wanted to document that, like, the lady selling her wares, she's not, doing anything malicious. She's going about her business regardless of all the things that are going on in the country, people are out there making the best of their situation. And that was what Everyday Africa started out as, pre-NFTs. And it was supposed to be a continuous, it still will be a continuous I don't want to call it collection because it was pre NFTs, a continuous thing for me where I document these things, and just kind of, my intention was to just kind of keep them and put them together as part of like a photo book series. And then the pandemic happened, and then NFTs happened, and when NFTs happened, I was like, okay, that's not a bad opportunity, because the blockchain keeps things forever, right? So I think it's a good opportunity to have these works be on the blockchain forever, minted into history for a whole lifetime, right? So yeah, and again, with my use of colors, you can see my tones are still, even though it's a different setting, my tones are still very much the same. And I think my tones are just who I am. I do like blues as well, so I chucked in a couple of like cool tones because I love the ocean. And I called them the cool tones. I called them the rares, even though it wasn't like a PFP collection. I was like, those are the rares in the collection. And the Everyday Africa 50 has also been collected, but I still do have a few pieces left in Everyday Africa. Another one was picked up yesterday night, and it's just a beautiful dear collection to me. Everyday Africa is one of my favorites, collected by one of my, very collectors that I'm very fond of. And it was just a playful picture. If you look close, you could see the guy was sending me the peace sign, and the composition was just so gorgeous, and the lines and the colors. It was like the perfect shot and the perfect moment for me. And I was just so glad that I was able to capture it. So yes, and then back to my still life. I do have another still life collection called Legends Live Forever. So what is Legends Live Forever? So thinking about art, thinking about me as a photographer, or more importantly, as a creator of art, I was thinking to myself, one day, why am I here? Why do I do this work? What is my purpose? And I believe anybody that's an artist that wants to come into the NFT space should always, first of all, ask themselves, why am I here? What is my purpose? What are my goals? And for me, my goals were, safe to say, I want my art to be iconic. I want to be legendary. And that inspired the name for Legends Live Forever. And the Legends Live Forever is pretty much saying, no matter what, as long as you are a creative and you're creating beautiful work, memorable work, you will live, your work will outlive you. And your work will make you immortal. And that was what the inspiration for Legends Live Forever is. Prior to going back to photography, because I did study video digital art at my university level, but kind of diverted into, like I said, PR and artist management in the music industry, and Afrobeat music industry. Prior to that, I was, thinking to myself, okay, if I had put all the effort that I put into these artists in my own work and not abandon my own work, would I still, would I be impactful? Because no matter how you look at it, a lot of times you will see that, the people that you are in the background for, they end up being impactful. And if you move on, you tend to be forgotten. And that's what usually happens. Like, if somebody's working with Britney Spears today, they could have put all their all in Britney Spears' brand. But the moment they move on from Britney Spears, they're going to be forgotten. And that's just the sad truth about the entertainment industry. And I decided, I'm just going to focus on myself. I have a talent, and I'm going to focus on that talent, and I'm going to use that talent to create beautiful things and be impactful through me. And that was the inspiration for Legends Live Forever, again, because I do write poetry. I had decided I do write poetry and quotes. I had started writing quotes. You know, there was a period in my life that was like very dramatic and very difficult. I was going through like a really messy breakup. And I found solace in writing quotes, you know, and reading quotes. So I would write all these quotes, write all these poems. When I was frustrated, I would just pen it down and things like that. So when I started creating Legends Live Forever, I decided to attach each piece, because it's like, this is my story. This is why I did this. So I decided to attach each piece to a poem, a quote, or anything that I wrote in that particular period and moving forward. So it's going to be in stages. It has its own website again. There I go with the own website. So I did build out Legends Live Forever, its own website, because I see it as a standalone. Because again, like I said, this is like my iconic pieces. This is like my legendary pieces, right? Even though you never know which ones will be your iconic pieces, because as far as I know, it could be everyday Africa, but I am prepared for anything that happens. They say opportunity should beat you prepared. So I always try as much as possible to be prepared if that opportunity comes. So I decided to build out its own website for it, where you can kind of read the story behind my inspiration for the collection. And I decided, because I felt very strongly about this collection being part of my story, I wanted to be very selective about how it's collected. So I'm not doing public sale for this collection. I'm only doing private sale. So if anybody wants a piece of Legends Live Forever, they would have to reach out to me, fill out a form, say the one they want, and then we can arrange to have it minted for you. And again, I see a lot of, pieces. Well, I think this is more common with PFP projects anyways, where they might be beautiful, maybe because it's a lot of them, I'm not sure. Their value will go down. So I'm trying to make sure the value of my work does not go down. And my collectors are very much aligned with my vision, because I did talk with a few of them before taking this decision. And they were the first to be offered and the first to collect the first phase. So I've done the first phase. And the second phase is what I'm working on right now. And again, if you look at the lights, I said the lights, sorry. If you look at the names, I Am Legend, that is the first piece from the collection. And that first piece was something I created and decided that I was going to give it to my son. Because, why am I even doing this if he can't have a piece of my work, right? Why am I here if I can't give him a part of my legacy, even though he'll own everything later? I carry him along. He's pretty young, but he's also very proud of his mom. So I do my best to make sure I carry him along. So I gave him I Am Legend. I'm waiting for his ledger to arrive so I can transfer it to his own wallet. But yes, and then I have Ajay. So Ajay, in Nigeria, I'm Yoruba, so Ajay pretty much means the goddess of wealth, right? And if you look at the composition, if you look at the colors, a lot of times gold signifies wealth. And when I created Ajay, I had written a poem a while ago talking to Ajay and asking Ajay to favor me, asking Ajay to bless me, asking Ajay to look upon me and just redirect my life and my mission and let me see where I'm going. And most importantly, give me some moolah. Because why do we call on Ajay, right? We call on Ajay because of wealth, because Ajay is the goddess of wealth. And so that was the inspiration behind Ajay. And appropriately, I named that piece Ajay after the goddess of wealth. And then Hollywood Lights. So I had written a poem, I think this was back in 2012, called Hollywood Lights. And it was pretty much if you look at the tones, it's really flashy. You know, the colors are very vibrant, and then there's that little dull flower. It's still beautiful, but it's just not as flashy as everything. It's almost like it's hidden in the corner. And that's like me coming out, like, you know, I'm leaving the past behind. This is me now, but still a little bit sheltering myself. And that was the idea behind attaching this piece to Hollywood Lights, and creating this particular piece, and just kind of adding a muted toned flower to accentuate the piece. It's like, you know, we have arrived, but we are not quite there yet, either mentally or you know, mentally. Anyway, so so that was the concept behind Hollywood Lights. But yeah, so my pieces, I'm very, very thoughtful about every single piece that I put out there. I'm on Foundation. I'm on OpenSea. Legends Live Forever is on OpenSea. Thank you. Legends Live Forever is on OpenSea. Legends Live Forever, and you know, like I said, that one is on its private sale. So I have a lot of diamond-handed collectors, and that's my goal. I love them because I know they're gonna just ride for me. A lot of them diamond-handed, and one of them listed his at 50 each, so like that's the floor price, and the others are like, I'm not selling mine, but you know, it's still available at primary sale level, but it's just direct through the website legendsliveforever.art. That's where, you know, you can go to get a piece. And I say be legendary. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by be legendary. So yeah, that's the official website for Legends Live Forever right there. It's called legendsliveforever.art. And that first piece you see with the lion and the orange on their head, that piece, although it has been collected, that's a self-titled piece. So my nickname is Orisha. Orisha pretty much means the gods and goddesses that kind of watch over us. And when I coined the nickname, or when I got coined the nickname Orisha, why Orisha? So Orisha is supposed to be a creator, right? It could be a creator, it could be somebody that watches over people. And I create art, I create beautiful pieces. And that is where Orisha comes from. And again, you know, way back in the days, like I said, I used to do artist management and publicity, and I didn't have a single artist that I worked with that did not make it big. So a lot of people used to call me Midas and Osha, you know, and that was where that came from. So Orisha is the actual word for Osha. Osha is like a variant of Orisha. So I kind of stuck with the name. You know, it's like, oh, whatever Tony, if Tony manages you, you're gonna make it. You know, is what they used to say back then. So they'll say Orisha, like, you're a legend. You know, so yeah, you know, Nigerians were awesome people. But yeah, so yeah, Legends Live Forever. Again, you can see some of the pieces. And like I said, you know, it's private sale on primary. So you can see, you choose your legendary piece, and you being a collector of Legends Live Forever means you're also a legend, you know, be legendary. That's where the term be legendary comes from. Once you have Legends Live Forever, you're also legendary because you're a part of my history. And to me, you're a legend. So you choose your legendary piece, and then buy secondary, and then you know, you can buy secondary on Solana, even though they're not listed. But yeah, so another thing that I did with Legends Live Forever was that I made it cross blockchain. A lot of people are not doing that. I understand I have people or collectors or anybody in the NFT space that might prefer Solana to ETH or ETH to Solana. So I try to make sure that, you know, whoever collects it first is available. It's available for whoever collects it first on whatever blockchain that they want it on. So that's why you see buy secondary on Solana, buy secondary on OpenSea. So they're two different blockchains. You choose your piece, and we mint it for you on your chosen blockchain between the two. So just, kind of trying to be as inclusive as possible about how I treat my collectors. But yeah, so it's, it's going to be an ongoing collection. This one and my contemporary still life will be ongoing. I do have wildlife as well. But I haven't not started presenting that because I plan on just doing the still life for a while, maybe a couple of years in NFTs. I will continue presenting my still life pieces because I really want to do the commentary pieces. And with the way NFTs are going, there's always something. So the commentary pieces should be fun. Just make art fun. And again, the Legends Live Forever, those ones, they're going to morph. The next set after the first, I have 12 right now. 6 of them are gone. And there will be 5 that I'm going to now start working on choosing collectors for. Then after the first 12, is it 13? First 12 or 13, then the next batch are going to be more poetic. They're going to have my poetry written into the piece. So those are going to be more from an artist's perspective. I don't want to say more thoughtful because they're all thoughtful, but I'm going to be putting a little bit more as each piece goes, and a little bit more of my now as each piece goes. I'm a fanatic when it comes to love poems, so you're gonna see a lot of love poems. Heartbreak. I think I'm not over being heartbroken, but I do enjoy writing love poems. I do enjoy telling those type of stories. So you're gonna see a lot of that moving forward in Legends Live Forever. But again, I tend to take my time to plan these things out. And just because if I'm going to put stuff out there, I want it to be something I'm proud of in 10 years, 20 years, and something I don't mind being remembered by. So I do drag my feet a lot in putting work out. But yeah, so that is, it. And yeah, and on the website, I did explain why still life, because like I said, in NFTs, it's not a very popular genre right now. So I did explain why still life, and just, when you go on the website, you can kind of see why I do what I do. So it's always going to be art with a purpose for me. And that will be it. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. I had a great time presenting my work. If you are interested in collecting any of my pieces, Legends Live Forever has its own website, legendsliveforever.art. If you want a piece of Everyday Africa, it is on OpenSea. Just search Everyday Africa by Tony Payne. And if it is contemporary still life you prefer, you can go on Foundation and search contemporary still life, and I will pop right up. Thank you.
Awesome, Tony. Awesome. You know what? I did not know that you were Nigerian.
I am.
Good. Well, it's good to meet another Nigerian.
Yes. When I saw your name, I was like, oh, heck yeah, I'm going to do it.
I love it. Oh my God. I love your work.
Thank you.
The comments that you receive in the comment section is ridiculous. Everybody, it really is a fresh of breath air.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As NFTs, and your concept of approaching this space is fantastic as well.
Thank you.
I love the cross-chain aspect of it.
Yes.
It's fantastic. And I did post legendsliveforever.art. So everyone can look
Beautiful.
at that comment and be able to go to your website. It's vibrant. It's beautiful. It really shows and represents the way that you want it to represent. So I think kudos to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time. And I hope you do more of these. It's a wonderful thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this is our second annual. So we're hoping to do it again next year as well.
Awesome.
I really appreciate it. Appreciate your work. And, we'll definitely connect again.
Oh, yes, for sure.
All of you know, we will be having AMAs. So, we want the artists to come back around 12 noon, which will be 3 hours behind for you. But, we do want you to join us if you can. Jump on the stage and be able to talk more about your pieces.
So that would be 9 a.m. my time.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think I can
Yes.
definitely be here for that.
Awesome. Great. All right. Well, thank you very much, Tony.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
We are going to go ahead and have an intermission. Let's have a 5-minute intermission, and then we'll be right back. All right. Hopefully you guys were dancing. Gonna bring up Natasha, who is our host. Hey, Natasha.
Hey, hello. So good morning so far. Lots of beautiful artwork that we were introduced to today and the stories of the artist. Always a good Tuesday on NFT Tuesdays. Just a couple quick reminders to everybody about the themes we have every day of the week, every day of the month of March. So we have Monday, we start off the week with Money Making Mondays. Like yesterday, we had Naja on talking about all things crypto and crypto related. So Mondays, Money Making Mondays. Then we have Tuesdays like today, which is NFT Tuesdays, where we introduce you to new NFT artists and their collections and their motivations behind their work and hear a lot of their stories. Then we have Wednesdays. So tomorrow will be Wednesday. It'll be our Worldwide Wednesdays, where we have a lot of talks about Web3 and some of the blockchain's effects on things globally. Thursdays are our Table Talk Thursdays. We have panel discussions on various topics with women internationally in this International Women of Blockchain Conference. Fridays is Futuristic Fridays, where we take you into the metaverse and all things going on in these new spaces and VR and AR and the different impacts and effects that is taking and might take into the future. Then we have our weekends. We have Saturday and Sunday. So Saturday is our Super Sponsor Sundays, where we highlight a sponsor each week, as well as our self-care Sundays, where we make sure to take some time and have some self-care. We're taking a break from the blockchain on Sundays. So that's our schedule every week for the month of March. We also want to remind you about our Discord, where you can connect with the community, connect with our speakers, and also find more information about our sponsors. The sponsors are Block, the parent company of Cash App. We have Hero, HIRO. We have Copper Seed Safe, as well as Definisty. And we want to remind you to tweet, share your experience, let people know that you are here and what we're doing during this conference all month, the International Women of Blockchain Celebration event. We have the hashtags running beneath me on the screen, hashtag IWBEVENT, empower her and celebrate her. And I think we're going to bringing Yinka back up to the stage.
Hi, thank you. Yes. We have another NFT artist here with us. She is coming straight from, I believe it's I want to say Brazil, but I may be wrong, but we'll have her clarify. We have Layla, who will be joining us, and she's another wonderful artist, and I can't wait for you guys to see her work. Her work is fantastic. We have wonderful women today who are presenting. Layla, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm happy to have you. Love the artwork in the background. Is that something that you created as well? Yeah.
That one, I don't know if you could see that one. That
Yeah,
one I
we can see
created.
both.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I created this one. The one right above is for an Chilean artist, and the ones on this side, some of them, I think the black one there, it's mine, and this one it's for another artist.
Awesome.
And then I have art all over the place here.
I love it. All right. So I know there's something special about you and your work, right? I want you to introduce yourself to the audience and talk a little bit more about you, your work, and I'll leave the stage so that you can get started.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Laila Pizarro. I'm a Chilean artist living in Chile. And I'll tell you a little bit about who I am before I go on to show you my work. I was born here in Chile, but I grew up in the United States. I grew up in Union City, New Jersey, which is right across the Hudson River from New York City. I went to high school there, and I went to college in the States. I was very lucky because when I got to the States, the high school that was near me, the one that I was supposed to go to, specialized in arts. So even though I couldn't speak in English or anything, they had art classes. So I started taking art courses right away. And for my first Christmas in the States, I got an oil paint set. And that's when I started painting, because I couldn't really speak to anybody. Nobody spoke, hardly anybody spoke Spanish. So that's what I spent my days and my time. Because of that high school, I was able to attend summer programs at Montclair State University, at Rutgers University for young artists. And I was also able to travel to Israel for a multidisciplinary arts program when I was about 17, my last year in high school. And that experience was just fantastic, traveling with fellow young artists and going to Israel and visiting museums and go to all the art high schools in that country. And that's when I just decided I'm gonna study art. I wouldn't know what else to do really with myself, but to do that. So when I came back, I applied to art school. And there I started studying art, anthropology, which is something that I'm very fond in, and social movements. I wanted to understand people. That's what I studied, anthropology. Eventually, life got to me. I had to leave school, college. I got married. I had kids. I moved back to Chile. But I always had that sensation that something was missing in my life. I didn't know. I knew it was art. I just didn't. I want to admit that it was art because I was just a full-time mom, and I kept on working through that until eventually I started taking courses like our Coursera courses, EDS courses, all online courses about art and preparing art projects. I took a course. I don't like course for Stanford, but a MOOC. I remember I was in a small town here in Chile. It's about 2-3 hours away from the capital city, and there I got to know artists from all over the world. I was working in a project with an artist from the Philippines, and I was so happy. Eventually, I moved to the capital city here in Santiago, and one day washing dishes, I was crying washing dishes, and I said, I don't know how to do anything else but to draw. I know how to draw. I know how to paint. And I don't know how to do anything else. I mean, not even washing these dishes. And at that moment, because I still remember just crying in front of the sink, I said, I'm just going to be a full-time artist. And that's it. No, I'm not going to do anything else. So I decided to do it. I went down to the basement. I grabbed all my oil paints that I have brought from the United States, my canvases, my brushes, everything. Because when I came to Chile, what I brought was my 2 kids, their clothes, and my art supplies. And I started figuring it out how to use oils again. I started figuring it out how to clean the brush again. And in that process, I sort of found myself, and I was happy again. I was just going to find myself. And a friend of mine said, apply to galleries to show your work. I was like, how am I going to apply to galleries? My work is not that good. I can't. Nobody's going to take me in. And she goes, no, your work is not good. You're not going to get in. But she goes, but if you apply, you're going to learn how to apply. You're going to get better at it. You're going to keep on motivating yourself to keep on working and become better. And eventually, you're going to get in because your work will be there. And the way you apply to the galleries will happen. And she was right. About a year and a half after I made the decision to be a full-time artist, I got into a tiny gallery, a small art gallery. It was going to be my first exhibition after about 20 years. And there was a social unrest in the country. So the day before it got canceled. And I was like, oh my God, I was nervous, but it was all right. It was okay that I said, I just wait a little longer. I mean, waiting so long, waiting a few weeks is not going to be a big deal. It turned out that I had to wait 2 months for the exhibition to happen. But I was happy. I was so happy when I finally saw my work, my ink drawings in a gallery. I was crying because I cried over everything. And then around the same time that I got accepted into the gallery, I had applied to another gallery that was showing at the World Art Expo in Dubai. I got in. That was in May, that year 2020, and then that exhibition got postponed because of COVID. And then I was like, I can't believe this. Like, I'm coming full force and everything is happening. I'm ready to take over the world. And I get a step ahead and then just a setback. And my daughter comes to me and she's like laughing. She goes, Mom, you said you want to be an artist. You insist on being an artist. And I was like, I'm going to do it. So I said, it doesn't matter if I get roadblocks in between. This is what I am. This is what I want to pursue. And that's why I keep on doing. I'm finally gonna present in World of Dubai next few days, if I'm not mistaken, with the work back from 2020. And that's sort of my story in short, how to become an artist. I came into the NFT space looking. During the pandemic, my husband and I were looking at Instagram and we wanted to buy artworks, these digital artworks. We didn't know how to get it and how can we display a digital artwork. And we love this so much. And then when the big news came, he sends me an article. He goes, look, this is how we could get this artwork. And I got so excited, and I was like, yes, we're gonna be doing it. And then I checked the prices. I was like, oh God, we can afford this artwork. I want it so badly. But then I realized, I said, hey, I'm an artist, I could do this. And during the pandemic, I did have some digital artworks. At that moment, I thought it needed to be only digital artwork. And so I went into the rabbit hole of Rarible and YouTube and looking at everything. And I eventually, I got into NFT space all by myself because I didn't know the community just yet. And I made a few mistakes. Those work that I put up in Rarible never got sold. But eventually I met the community, and I got the help and the support that I needed to move ahead in this space. And I got into Tesos. I had my first NFT sold was for 1 Tesos. I was so happy. I couldn't believe someone bought my work, because the last time I sold that work, it was back in high school. And now I sold another work back in high school. I'm talking about 1993, and now I'm talking about 2021. So I was really happy. And that's when my career started in the NFT space. I started learning more, getting to know the community, and eventually I realized that I could bring all my artwork here, my paintings, my watercolors, my photography. And my photography was my secret, and nobody knew I took photographs, because that was all I did for myself, the editing, everything. And I started showing my photography, and that photography was what I started moving in the NFT space. That's the one people liked. That's the one that people were fond of, that they wanted to do. So with the photography, it's what I started, and I share with you that photography right now. And those are the photographs that I started with in NFT space. Some of that got sold, some of that did not, because I had an issue with my wallet. It got compromised, and I lost a little bit of money, not much, because I always took it out because I just had enough for printing. But I lost access to all my NFTs that they were available. So, and that's what hurt me the most about being my wallet compromised, that all my work, like these photographs here in Hoboken Station, which I took when I went back to the state to visit, it just brought me back memories of being on the station over and over again. The photographs above Almost Home, it was I took it last year when I was arriving in New York for another art fair, the World Art Expo, and the NFT conference that I travel. So having the wallet compromised, it sucked losing the money, but it affected me most not having access to my NFTs and my work here in OpenSea and my work on other platforms. And but I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to get emotional, because I don't want to feel those feelings again. But what it did to me was to make me realize that I have to keep on going after a week or two of being down, and then be like, why this happened? And it was like, I can't just stay here. I have to come up. I have a series of work that I want to show everyone, that I want to talk. And if I stay here and I said I'm going to get out of the NFT space because I love this work, then I won't be able to move forward as an artist. And I want to be an artist for most. I want people to know my work. So what I did was, like I said, okay, this is what happened. Let's figure this out. And figure it out. I said, okay, I'm not gonna mint any more work. I'm just gonna concentrate on 8M, Calladita se ve más bonita, which is a series of work that I have been working for quite a long time, since last June I started. But the idea of this work, Calladita se ve más bonita, it started 2 years ago, March 8, 2020. I was at a women's march, and I was at the women's march. It was when I was there in summer here in Chile. So it's quite hot when you go to the march at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I was surrounded by all these women and the signs. And the signs say the same thing that the year before, and the year before, and the year before. and sadly was going to say the same things that this year or the following year. And I was very upset. I said, I can't believe in the 21st century we're still marching, we're still all asking to be respected, we're still here, all of us, you know, with this heat above us burning our skins. That March 2020, I woke up from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to about 9 p.m. at night. The streets were packed with women. It was the main avenue here in Santiago. The sun was out when I got there, and the sun went down when I left. And that idea of why are we still doing it stayed in my head, and I wanted to do a work about women's and all together in March, and why are we still doing this? And I didn't have a tool. I thought maybe I make a photo book, and maybe, you know, just a lot of things going on. But then, and I was always interested in AI and how it worked and the digital artwork. So I took a workshop for machine learning. And in that workshop, I was like, oh, this is the tool. This is what I need. This is exactly what I need to do 8M, because I knew from the beginning that it was going to be called 8M. And 8M it's what they call it here in America, 8M. And right away, I started gathering photographs from women's marches, from the first ones that they were going out for the rights to vote, black and white, to the ones that I have taken in the marches I had gone. And I went country by country, Latin America, Europe, Asia. I looked everywhere for women's marches. And when I ran them through the training, I didn't want to just, look at a composition beforehand. I just put them all in because I wanted to be something abstract, and I wanted to be that abstract to be pretty. Because I remember as a child having heard many times, if I told myself or to my cousins, or when I was older, told to other little girls, calladita se ve más bonita. It sort of translate to English to a phrase that I also heard a lot in the United States, is just sit there and look pretty. And it was always wondering me, I'm like, why you have to just sit there and look pretty? You have something to say. But it was always like that. And that's what I called it, like this. I wanted to be beautiful. I wanted to be in silence, because I want people to look at it, to see it, that it's beautiful, but not hear the noise that was going on in these marches, the chants over and over again saying, we want to have, we don't want to be brave to walk down the street. We want to have the freedom to walk down the street. We don't, those things that it's like that I also heard when I was little. Oh, she's really brave. She's going outside and it's getting dark. Well, we don't have to be worried about that. We don't have to be worried about wearing a miniskirt, going outside. It's just why? It's the 21st century. We are all humans. We all have rights. We're all equal, no matter where we were born, no matter what gender we were born. We're just human beings, and we need to be respected as such. And with this work, my aunt called me yesterday when she found out I was doing this, and when she found out I was speaking here. And she called me to let me know that she got married very early at 15. And I asked her first, I said, can I talk about this to everyone? And she said, yes, please do so. She got married at 15 because she come from poor folks, back then. And she goes, because my mom needed to marry me as soon as possible, because, I was another mouth to feed. But she wasn't allowed to go out to the store to do anything. If she wanted to be friends, she couldn't do it. Her husband didn't allow her to do so. And as she's telling me her stories, and she got really deep in it, and she said thank you to me for doing this work. And I got really emotional, because it's important to her. And this is important to my other aunts that also can marry very young, and that also could. My aunt wasn't allowed to work, even though they needed to work because we needed the money. She couldn't. And now that she's over 60, she goes, now I do whatever I want. I'll go out whenever I want. I talk to my friends whenever I want. I have a drink whenever I want. I don't have to listen to anybody. She goes, I don't care what people say. And she wanted to get divorced a few times. And the people around her, other women, were like, oh, why are you going to do it? Don't get divorced. And she was like, I can't take this anymore. And she stayed because of that. And I told her they don't, we all have issues, and we all come in it, but the people probably think that, you know, we're dealing with the same thing. How come you can deal with it? I mean, I wonder why does she has to deal with it? You know, that it makes no sense. And as a single mom, my mom had me. She was very young. She was married, but she didn't leave my father because he was abusive to her. And this for women's rights is always in back of my head, because in the 70s she was a single mom. I was the daughter of a single mom, and everybody just made sure that I knew I had no father. When I actually did have a father, he just wasn't around because my mom wasn't safe with him around. So, and even with the family, I will always wonder why they're not given the support that she requires and needs, because she left this marriage instead of just treating her as this woman that got divorced and didn't stay with her family. And I'm just rambling here, and I'm gonna go back to the work. So this series, they have different names. One of these dancing together because I want to talk about all of us dancing as one together, from the women that started back asking for the right to vote to the women that are asking for the right to just, you know, to just be free. Then you have todas in Spanish have the gender words, and it will be all women. And when that one, I want to talk about all the women that are in the march, the women that we're talking right now, and for those women that are not allowed to leave the house, for those women that are in jail, for those women that were murdered for domestic violence, for those women that committed suicide because they were raped, and instead of the person that committed this crime being accused or having any repercussion, the girls got the repercussions. And sadly, it happens. I hear when they happens here in Chile, when it happens in Argentina, and then it happens in Colombia, Brazil, and it happens all over the world. So there's a lot of stories like that, girls that committed suicide. So we're all here. And later on today, I'm gonna go to the march, and I'm gonna go with this idea of all of us being there. Red is a painting, because I was generating these videos, but I was like, I need more. I need to express and transfer these feelings and this emotion to the canvas, to the artwork. And I felt the best way to do so was making a painting. So the still images that I generated, I took a few and I made 2 paintings. This painting red, I want to say because red, a red lipstick, a nice sexy red dress. That is something that people think about women. Red, period red. When they go, oh, you know, this, when the woman is angry, sometimes they go, oh, she's in the time of the month, which is a horrible thing to say. Undermining the feelings. And red out of frustration that these signs come over and over again. And then I have another piece right below, which is from above. And from above, because it reminds me of how we march in all of our cities and our towns, and together we gather strength, and together we're stronger. And this conference, which I'm very thankful to be here, and I want to thank you to you for organizing it, to International Women Blockchain, because we're becoming stronger here. We're becoming stronger, and we could stand together, you know. And the NFT space, last year when I came in, there were spaces that women weren't allowed to talk, and because they were talking over each other. And then if a woman came and spoke over somebody else in Clubhouse, they would go, oh no, you have to respect that he's talking. But when he would talk about over someone else, whether it was a male or a female, nothing would be said. I was at a space where a woman was talking, and they asked her to please not to leave, to allow someone else to speak. And that was really odd, because it was only three of us in that space. Someone had come up asked the question. Nobody knew the answer to that question. She knew the answer to that question, and she was still asked to please be quiet. So the other 2 women that were in the stage, we both came up and we said, hey, she knows the answer. What are you doing this? And then we all 3 became friends. We all 3 became stronger. And this work is about that, from above. If you look at us from above, we are one. We're stronger together. And I'm just getting emotional about showing you all this work, because it's a work that I started in 2020. In June last year, I got figured out how to come in together, and also this is my first series of work that I have available at NFTs, because I lost everything else because of that wallet. So this is my work, and I'm happy to show it to you guys. So I'm gonna move on to show you another work that is gonna be coming back through the NFT space. Let me share the screen for that with you guys. This work is called Ocean View, and as I told you before, I have lived in different places around the world, and I always been sort of away from my family and my friends. When I was 15, I moved to the States. Then I was meeting everyone here in Chile. When I was 20 something, I came back to Chile. I was meeting everyone in the States. And this is a photography that I was gonna drop the day after my wallet got compromised. So in a split of the moment, I said, let me just, whatever work was available for sale at that moment, I just deleted it from OpenSea. And this work is gonna come on in a few weeks. It's called Ocean View because I'm here in Santiago, surrounded by mountains. I'm from Valparaiso, from the coast, near the Pacific Ocean. I lived near the Hudson River in New Jersey, in New York. So I was always surrounded by water. And this view is from my apartment on the 13th floor, looking at the west, at the mountain, the coastal mountain range, and the Pacific Ocean further, to about 2 hours away. And for me, this work is about 14 pieces. It's not individual. It's one. It's the whole pieces of work, because it talks about me looking from, like, missing my family, missing the places I feel comfortable, missing, the bench where I used to sit at the park, missing the supermarket I used to go to in Union City, New Jersey, and know where all the aisles were, missing the family gathering, when we used to go listen to music by the Hudson River, missing those tea times by the beach in Valparaiso here in Chile with all my family and my cousins. And these photographs were taken with an iPhone. But what I didn't want them to be digital, so I took them to the dark room, and I worked in layers with photo emotions from the 19th century, about gum, bichromite, cyanotype. So these are also physical works that I just wanted to express the emotions, the longing for your family, the missing everyone, the just feeling comfortable where you are, and that's my work, really. I hope I didn't go quite too fast. Let me with it. That's my other works. I try not to forget anything. I can't hear you.
Technology, right? You did a fantastic job, Layla. Love all of your art pieces, even the photography. I was zooming in. I'm like, man, that is so beautiful how the colors and the black and white contrasts after each other. And then you had one that was called Metro Bio. And so, like, you saw the red on the ceiling, and that was really beautiful. I love your pieces. I love your work. I love what it represents as well, the march, right? I think that's powerful. And, you mentioned that it's been a year since the day that you took those pictures. And I think that's fantastic because it's showing that full circle. Today being International Women's Day, and you're about to go to another at March, I'm sure you're going to have another beautiful pieces that's going to be created off of that. But I just wanted to tell you that your story was powerful. It was very inspirational. And I'm really happy to be able to know you and to have you showcase this during this International Women's Day.
Oh, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to share today, because it's a very special day. It is my artwork is about what I live and what I experience every day, and sometimes I have big thoughts that come out to nothing, but sometimes just little things make it into my artwork, and I start developing. And sometimes I just spend years thinking about it until it comes and becomes a reality. And I just want to thank you all for allowing me to speak and to show my work, and also to show one-on-one artists, because the NFT space, sometimes one-on-one artists that get lost in between the whole space. And the art itself gets lost, and the meaning of the art get lost in a fast Twitter feed. So to give me this time to talk about my work and to show it to you, I appreciate it. Thank you. And let's all go to a march today. Let's just go outside with signs.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Layla. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Everyone, go cop her work, look at it, and definitely support her. We really want y'all to support all of these artists, get to know them in our Discord. Join our Discord at womenofblockchain.org/Discord. Join us. Let's celebrate. Let's continue to spread the news and make these ladies feel welcome in this space. Now we're going to transition, and we're going to bring up another wonderful artist, Anna Marie. Can you please come on up? Hi, Anna Marie.
Hi, I'm here. I can't tell if I'm here. Okay, I'm here.
How are you?
Good, Olayinka. How are you? Thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, I will leave the stage and let you go ahead and present you and tell us about yourself.
Perfect. So my name is Ana Maria Caballero, and I am a Colombian poet. I have published both in Spanish and English. I've published a book called Entre Domingo y Domingo, which won a National Poetry Award in Colombia, and then was second place for another national prize. And then I've published 2 books in English, 2 chapbooks in English, and I have a nonfiction manuscript coming out at the end of this year. Hopefully, if there's no more scheduling issues in the world. But most of my work has kind of accompanied the moment of my life in which I'm writing it. So the first book was mostly about my 20s, which I spent in Bogota, which is a brutally fun and brutally brutal Latin American city. The next 2 collections have been about finding myself, taking care of young children and aging parents simultaneously and all of a sudden. And then my manuscript that's coming out next year, at the end of this year, is about an illness that my son had. And now we had to explore both traditional and Western medicine in order to heal him. And I stumbled upon the blockchain, just, reading all the articles that came out in spring of 2021, and really spend many months just learning and lurking around in Twitter and figuring out Discord, which, I'm still working on, to be honest. But I immediately knew, even before I had fully grasped the potential of the blockchain, that this is exactly what I've been looking for my entire life, because I always felt that a poem was a work of art, and that it didn't have that value manifest for some reason. Obviously, the way that we bring value to the surface is by transacting in objects. That's why, art is transacted, sculpture, films are transacted, but poetry really isn't transacted. And I never really understood that. And beyond even the transactability of poetry, it was, for me, the fact that it didn't have a culturally sort of equal place, I would say, versus other mediums like painting, like photography, like film, like sculpture. You walk into the MoMA or you walk into the Louvre, and they're pieces that represent different ages of our cultural history, but you don't see poems on the wall. And there are short poems that people could read, in a brief span of time. So, even like the length of poetry and like the fact that we usually read it in private shouldn't really inhibit that. And I felt that the blockchain was exactly what I was waiting for in order to make manifest the value of a poem as a work of art. And so I immediately wanted to create a gallery in which poetry was presented as art. And so this gallery is called the Verse. I bought the domain for it, I think in like May of 2021. And while I was still learning about the blockchain, I was actually invited to be part of this project called Ether Poems by Digital Art Chick. She's one of the biggest influencers in the space. And it's a project that put verse directly onto the Ethereum blockchain. So it was minted, into the transaction hash. And it was a really crazy experience. And what surprised me, I think, the most is the community and the connections that I formed by being part of crypto Twitter. Writing and being an artist can be a very lonely task, of course, and it's very insular. And I always felt that when I published, it was kind of anticlimactic. All this work went into it, and then, the work didn't feel like it had enough of a living day in the world. So being part of that project really opened up my eyes to the potential for real, organic, authentic connections that can be made via the crypto world, and also the genuine interest there is in learning and connecting with poetry. I met also 2 women writers and the Ether Poems project, and the 3 of us co-founded and launched the Verse Gallery. We launched it at NFT NYC in November of last year, and it's been a pretty incredible ride since then. We are working on our first exhibition, which is a museum exhibition, which will open up April 1st, National Poetry Month in the US. And we are working to onboard acclaimed poets, pair them with crypto native artists to create truly original and immersive spoken word pieces of art. We also are working to elevate text-based artists already active in the crypto space. And we're also exploring the craft and creativity of generative verse, so AI-powered verse. And all this has been just an incredible experience. I wanted to share a few of my pieces and to read a few poems. Why not? Let's read some poetry. And so my pieces that I've mostly worked on is our spoken word video pieces, and I'm just going to share the covers of them initially, so that you guys can get an idea of what they look like. Another thing that I find absolutely incredible about the crypto world is the potential for collaborations. So even though I've creatively conceived and commissioned my pieces, they haven't, the ones that are coming up are by incredible artists. So this would have never happened if I hadn't entered the crypto world. Here is one of them. Here's the piece. I'm hoping everyone can see it. Here's one of the pieces that I would like to read. This is a piece that's right now in known origin. And I wanted to share that some of the works that I've been sharing recently, and the 2 that I will read today, are pieces that are from a manuscript that I'm working on called Mammal. And this manuscript seeks to question romanticized notions of motherhood, and also notions that seek to present female sacrifice as a virtue. I feel that, usually as mothers, we can only share the good, and sometimes there's no space to vent and express the sacrifices and the hardships that also come along with being a mother. So I think that it's very important to give voice to these thoughts, so that it's not only the beauty and the connections that we make as mothers, but the hard parts as well are part of that equation. So without further ado, I was going to read frequently asked questions. This piece right now is on Maker's Place. It's my Maker's Place Genesis poem. I'm very excited to be part of that. platform. And I'm also very excited to announce that in 10 days, I will be launching on Super Rare. My first poem will be on Super Rare. So I'll read frequently asked questions, and then I'll go back to guessing game. Frequently asked questions is a poem that is a little bit experimental. It takes the phrase, "What more can come of love," and deconstructs it to construct a different narrative. So I'll go ahead. Frequently asked questions. What more can come of love? Children? We have. Sex? We've had. Of love, the way its doors swing in, hinged. What? I reside, dwell, abide. Identify each object by its drawer. More. Blueprints tell us where the bedroom hangs. Can come. To enter the space of home is to house, to hold. What more can come of love? Every day blows its bit of wind. See the doors. Still, they beckon in. Thank you. So I'll read Guessing Game. And I love about these digital mediums that I'm working with to share my poetry is that spoken word can now be an element, right? So it's like you have a private performance whenever you decide to engage with a piece. And I feel like that is, it's really powerful to have that. So I'm gonna read Guessing Game. A child requires its mother, me, my fascination, my amplitude, my devotion, my parameter, my consequence, my brink. The child does not speak. I, its mother, must offer all to unearth the many-headed thing it wants as need. And so I'm really excited about uplifting poetry as a whole via the blockchain, and to really change the ways that people conceive of poetry and interact with it. I think that by putting it on a seat at the table, giving poetry a seat at the table in this world of digital art, it's only going to just enrich conversations and experiences and have people connect with poetry, which can only bring more beauty, right? So via the verse and via my personal work, this is what I'm fully committed to just building something larger than myself and to grow the reach and the connection with poetry in crypto land via the blockchain. So that's what I came to share.
Thank you very much, Anna Marie. Anna Maria, I am so sorry. Really appreciate it. Love the poetry. I think it's very deep and powerful. As a mother, I do resonate with that guessing game. And to hear, I'm like, I thought back of when my child was younger, right, and could not speak. And it definitely resonated with me hearing that. I love all of your work that you're doing here, and I know we're going to have you back on Thursday, actually.
In Spanish.
Yes, and we're going to have a Spanish panel that is going to be awesome to listen to and to hear how this whole space is impacting the Spanish community and the Spanish culture. And I can't wait for you guys to come back and present that. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you guys for organizing this conference and for this space to share my work. It's really just an honor, especially today, right?
Yes, yes. International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're welcome. All right, let's go ahead and transition right into our very own committee member, Anna Isabel. Anna, come on up to the stage. Yes.
Hello. How is everyone?
Good. I'm going to have you take it from here. I know you are in Portugal, so go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I also have slides that I wanted to share. First of all, I wanted to thank everyone that's listening to this amazing event. And I also want to thank Yinka and the rest of the committee who worked so hard to bring this event, the International Women of Blockchain event, to life. And of course, it's an honor to be here on this day. I mean, what a perfect day to be here. So I'm Anne Isabel Hewlett, and today I will be speaking about empowering women through art. So about me. I'm a fine art photographer. I'm from the Azores Islands in Portugal, and I discovered photography in 2006. It was almost instant that I realized this is what I wanted to do for a living, and I have been pursuing it ever since. In 2007, I moved to the UK, and I developed my photography skills further there. And this was before I returned back to Portugal in 2018. So it's been a big journey for me. So about my art. So during the time that I was in the UK and I was developing my skills, I also developed my own style. So it's quite a colorful style, and I would say it's a mixture between fantasy and fashion, and it's filled with feminine strength. My personal artwork was also published in different international magazines, such as Enchanted Living, which before was called Fairy Magazine, also in the Vogue Italy website, Fame Magazine, Femme Rebelle, etc. And also during that time, I applied to a competition called Portrait Masters, where I received bronze and silver awards for my own portrait work. So on the side, you can see this was actually the first magazine where I was published, and I came on a cover. So I'm very proud of that. But let's continue. So the power of photography. So in 2018, when I came back to Portugal, I decided to focus on photography as a business. So not creating so much art, but doing it for a business. So I started photographing everyday women and giving them an experience where they could feel confident, beautiful, and as if they had come out of a magazine. I realized that photography had the power to transform women's perception of themselves. And that was quite life-changing for me. So here's, for example, one of the photos of a client of mine. As you can see, she is pregnant. When I saw her bathing suit and I saw, this was on the beach, when I saw the wall on that beach, I thought we have to photograph there because it just matched. So the way to confidence. So the way I see it, the media and society have for a long time made women feel as if they are never good enough. And I knew from my own experience as well, because I was bullied for many years in school, and part of it was because of my look. So I knew what it was like to feel that lack of confidence. And then when I started my business in photography, I realized that I could change that with a simple quick click. So with my own vision, I realized that I could change these women's perceptions. And I realized then that all the pain I had gone through those years had led me here. And that was my mission was to empower women. So this is another example of what I did for these women. So this is a before and after. So they all go through this process where I have a makeup artist, a hairstylist, they get their hair done, their makeup. We even have a consultation beforehand where we pick clothes for their day. So this was my client before the shoot, and then a photo that we took during the session. As you can see, she feels quite strong there, and that's how I see it, and I know she loved it. So my NFT journey. So at the end of February, I heard about NFTs for the very first time through another photographer friend called Ashley Marie. She's actually from South Africa, and she's in the NFT space. So after some research, I thought that NFTs would be an opportunity for me to live off my art. I actually kind of felt my soul vibrate then. And this was during the pandemic, right? And we're still in the pandemic, but it was during the beginning of it. And, I wasn't having any clients really there because I couldn't meet people. You weren't allowed to, you could only work online if you had the a job that allowed for that. So I wasn't really allowed to be with clients. So NFTs came as an opportunity to sell my art, what I was doing before returning to Portugal. So my very first mint was in the 18th of March. So I joined the NFT space on Twitter on the 14th of March, and I minted 4 days after. And this is the picture I minted, which is called Inanna, based on the goddess Inanna from Sumeria. So I really cannot describe the feeling I had when I minted my first work. It was like a mixture between enthusiasm and hope. I still feel it in my body. It's like, I have to be honest, I even cried a tiny bit, but it's true. So, and it was amazing because I had been so focused on my business, trying to get the clients, trying to make ends meet, that I had forgotten a bit of the beauty of creating art just for me, just for myself. And I believe NFTs give me that feeling back. So healing through art. So my very first NFT, Inanna, which you just saw, is from a project that I have called Witches and Seers. So this project is based on ancient goddesses and different mythological creatures from different cultures. So when this project came to be, when the idea started, so I was in the beach in 2014. This was the summer of 2014, and I had been diagnosed with an hormonal problem, which made me feel less of a woman. Let's say I wasn't feeling like a woman again, so I was in that beach sitting on that sand, and I knew I was feeling something, and I knew I had to do some work to heal myself, some work that was charged with femininity and power, something that will make me feel like a woman again. So Witches and Seers was born, and it's not only a personal project, but for me, it's a celebration of women. So this feminine divine creatures, for me, they they represent the force of energy, intuition, and wisdom that live within every woman. I believe all of us have something of this inside us. I think we are born with it. And why did I call it Witches and Seers? So for some people it can be scary, but I called it for a reason, because for so many years, because of patriarchy, we were led to believe that we didn't have like a place here in the world. Women were believed, they forgot their entitled place in a way. And so we stopped being the healers, we stopped being the warriors and the wise ones, and we were called witches, right? We gone through an inquisition and everything, where so many women were burned because of having the power of healing. And so we became witches during this time. But we are not witches, we are goddesses. And that is why I decided to go with this name, to show that we are goddesses, and not as the society decided to portray us. So here are some of the examples of my witches and seers. So as you can see, these are 3 different goddesses. I have the first one on the left is Isis. So she's a goddess from Egypt. The one in the middle is Kali, an Hindu goddess. And Hecate, which is the third one, which is actually the very first photo I took for this project. She's a goddess from Greece. So I try to make sure I always got the people from different cultures to represent these cultures properly. And the way I saw these goddesses as well in my own mind. So art for empowerment. So as I was saying before, I was doing those powerful photographs for my clients, right? But with NFTs, I also came to realize that my personal work, like with the goddesses, made other women feel strong, beautiful, and confident. It's like they would come to me and they would say that by looking at them, they could feel their own inner goddesses. And once again, I had found myself understanding that my own personal work and artistic work could be used to empower women. That my mission that I had found recently while in my business, that it could go on through my own creativity. It didn't have to stop. I could continue empowering women and still doing work for myself that I love. And this is why I believe art can be so powerful. So that was about me. I want to talk about a group that I founded. So it was also in the end of March 2021. So right when I joined the NFT space, I founded this group called NFT Goddesses. It's a sisterhood. I love my girls so much, and so a few of them are talking in this event, and I'm so proud of them. But so I founded this group called NFT Goddesses. It's a group dedicated to empowering, supporting women in the NFT space. So it creates a safe space where they can connect, they can talk, and share their work. This was not something I was planning, but it was something that grew. So we started as a little Twitter group chat. And then more women started adding other women, and it started to growing, and then it went on Discord. We now have 350 members, over 350 members, and this it's not I planned. So for me, it's quite something that it's mind blowing that we grew so much, and there's so many things that we do together. So it's a really sisterhood. Yeah, I think that's the right name. It's a sisterhood. That's how I feel this group. So what do we do in the NFT Goddesses? So one of the things that for me is extremely important is to support different types of people, communities, and our planet. And it's also something that we strive within the NFT Goddesses, within our group. So we have now created 2 collections or 2 projects for the social good. I'm going to tell you about them. The first one was Free the Nipple. Yes. So as you can imagine, what Free the Nipple is to really, women should be free. Why should we hide our bodies? Why should we be ashamed of them? And that's what the project is about. But also this project came during the month of October. And October being the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we wanted to donate 10% of every sale to a breast cancer charity. And one of the goddesses, her name is Simona Online Art. She actually found this charity called Breast Cancer Support in UK that accepts crypto. So far we donated 0.675 ETH to them, to the charity. But of course we are looking to donate more. We still have 8 artworks available. They're really beautiful and they're still available. And so of course we want to donate more once they sell. And now I'm going to tell you about our most recent project. So it's called Piecemeal. And this project, it started, so we started creating it on Saturday last week. And it was launched on the 1st of March. So last week, exactly 1 week today. And it's called Piecemeal. So mir means peace in Ukrainian. And the aim of this project is to raise money for Ukraine. And since it's time of launching, we have been able to raise 7.9 ETH, which is incredible. This only started last week. And so this ETH in volume, it includes the secondary sales, but we still have some way to go to achieve our goal. So our goal is 8.7 in primary sales. But I want to tell you a bit more about this project. So 87 women from all over the world participated in this project. So they donated their work. It was an open concept, so they didn't have to create anything if they didn't have time. But if they had, they could work to create a piece or just donate something they already had. 100% of the sales, including the secondary sales, will all be donated to this organization called Unchained Fund. This organization focuses on humanitarian aid. It was very important for us that it wouldn't go to army forces or weapons or anything like that. Also, they accept crypto. Actually, the people behind it are all big people in the crypto space. So it was very important for us to donate to an organization, to a charity that will give humanitarian aid. So how do they do it? They evacuate people, they provide medical support, and they help with food and, I believe, gas as well, expenses. So as a conclusion, I would like to say that joining the NFT space and the crypto space, for me, it was the best thing I've done. I've met so many people from all over the world, connected with amazing people, amazing women. And I truly believe that together with creativity and technology, we can make the world a better place. We can create a global community where we are all seen as one. It doesn't matter where we come from and what is our background. What we actually need to start doing is connecting, talking with one another, and giving the voice to those who had been silent before. And I think really that Web3 is the way to go. Thank you so much for listening. I'm just going to leave my links here if you want to follow me anywhere. So you have my Twitter and Isabel_photo. And then you have the links to my work. But also if you are a woman watching this, and you can check the NFT goddesses and our collections. Thank you so much for everyone.
No, thank you so much. I really enjoyed what we just saw. I mean, I love the theme and the motivation about the women empowerment, right? Because, today is, as she said, the perfect day. It's International Women Day, and we are at this International Women of Blockchain event for this Women's History Month. So it just really tied in with everything we're doing. We appreciate you so much for being here. We're so happy you were able to participate. Just a few more reminders before we go into wrapping up our day on this NFT Tuesdays. We want to make sure you join us in our Discord after this. you can find our Discord at womenofblockchain.org/Discord. That's also if you want to share this event with anyone and they want to get tickets, they can find tickets at womenofblockchain.org. And we also want to highlight our sponsors, Block, Hero, Copper Seed, Safe, and Definisty. As well as we want to thank you all for being here. We hope you are sharing your experiences on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at IWBEVents. Make sure you use our hashtags, which you see down around the bottom of the screen. Hashtag celebrate her, embrace her, and IWBEVent. And we are going to be going to a brief intermission, and we'll see you back here in a few.
All right. I hope all of you were dancing because I know I was dancing. I love the intermission music, but we're going to move right all along. We actually are on time. We have our last presenter, which is a young lady that's very dear to me. Her name is Tayo, but you guys probably know her as Tayo Damn Shoes. And she's going to come up to the stage, another Nigerian wonderful NFT artist that's going to come and present her art. There you go, Miss Thang. I see you.
Hi.
Thank you. Hey. Thank you. Thank you. You're looking beautiful and e-babish. I love it.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be in here. I've been watching the whole video, watching all the other women on stage. It's been so amazing. My name is Tayo Damn Shoes. I am the creator of the 111 eBabes, and I've been in the NFT space, the crypto space, since about the end of December. It's been a long journey, and it's been a fun and amazing journey. I've been able to really own in on my art and just focus on my art, creating community, meeting new people, traveling. It's been amazing. I'd like to show you guys what I do, tell you a little bit more about myself and what I'm currently working on. Here I'm gonna show you what eBabe is. So this is a creation that I created called the 111 eBabes, basically highlighting beings and people around the world that are their authentic self. I'm very much of a big supporter of people being their authentic self, not succumbing to society's standards. Here we have the eBabes. This is my open C, so I'm gonna read it out. Presenting eBabes, ethereal, authentic, original, seductive, otherworldly, 111 distinctive character going against the grain of society with their powerful, glamorous presence. Everyone is an eBabe. Just live your life and follow your path. The eBabes are not dropped all at once. They're dropped by sets, each set better than the last. And my goal as an artist is to evolve so that by the time I'm at 111, eBabes are 3D, which is funny because I already did a 3D eBabe, so we already surpassed that. Some eBabes do come with unlockables to celebrate all my wonderful supporters. They do come at a bonding curve. So I also call the eBabes the members of my shoelace gang. Tie your damn shoes, and they're the gangs that hold me together. It's a little pun that we created as a community. And all the eBabes are rare because I believe that everybody that owns it, everybody that participates in it are rare beings. And this is just an example of what they look like. There's a lot. And the whole point of it is for me to go to 111. I realized as I've been creating this, like 2021, I ended up making way more than I thought I was going to. I did 54 of these, and it was a journey, really, it really was. And I'm at 54. That's crazy. And I'm just happy that like I was in such a flow mentality that I was in my happy place. Previously, I worked for companies and stuff like that, and I wasn't really able to really owning on my creativity until I got into the NFT space. So I will like to highlight some eBabes because there are some that I feel like are very special, even though they're all special. I'm using the eBabe series to basically bring education, history, art on the blockchain. So like, everything on the blockchain is in history. You won't be able to say that, oh, I can't find Black history because it's on the blockchain. I'm doing that and I'm making sure it is on the blockchain. Here is an example. This is Makita. Makita is also known as the Queen of Sheba. She's probably like this. She's actually the richest woman ever known, And I just wanted to, really highlight that because stuff like that, history like that, is not usually highlighted in schools. And as a woman, as a Black woman, as an immigrant child, it's not. We don't really get to be represented as much as we would like to. So making sure that the history is there is very important because in the past we've had our history being erased, and actively still being erased. Here we have another one called Toussaint Louverture. This is a Haitian general from the Haitian Revolution, and the story about this one is so beautiful. Because whenever we created this, I actually created it with my community on Discord. And it was my first time, like I was literally in the community and I was just like, okay, what colors do you guys want? I was like, do you guys want 1 eye, 2 eye? And it was around the same time that it was Haitian History Month. And I really wanted to highlight Toussaint because he is a revolutionary person, So this is Toussaint Louverture. There's a lot of different ones. Like they have details in them that I feel like I wouldn't have been able to really put in if I wasn't in the NFT space and if I didn't have the community like that around me. I also have Black women that are making history right now. Robin, I didn't want to put her I didn't want to put her her artist name because I don't want to cause any problems. But this is 1616 Robin. This is inspired by Rihanna. And recently we found out Rihanna became a billionaire. And to me, that is a huge accomplishment to be so in tune with your creativity that you go from another creative source to another one, from music to fashion. I love when artists are able to be unapologetically themselves despite of the history they already have in another venture. So here we have Robin. This is just basically describing all of Rihanna's past and her own accomplishments and things that she has done in history. And I really do believe that she's a huge inspiration for Black women everywhere. Once I saw that happen, I was like, okay, yeah, I can be able to do this too. Representation really matters in our day and age because there's a lot of media telling us that we're only this certain thing, but when we can actually be so much more. So that was why I created this 1616 Robin. I will tell you what all these numbers in the back means, but let's keep going and I'll tell you more about that later. Here we have another piece and with the eBay series, I really wanted to make sure that I challenge myself as an artist, continuously do better than I did last time, because I don't want to be stagnant. And just like really honestly, just challenge myself and come up with something new. So I did a little series called Obatala. And funny enough, the owner is actually in the chat right now. I really like my collectors because I feel like they understand exactly what it is that I'm doing. Obatala is part of the Orisha series because I wanted to really highlight the mythology series and different kind of gods that they have in Nigeria and Africa. I realized that other gods like Greek mythology and all the other ones, they're more praised higher. They're seen as like that shining light, but the African ones are like always demonetized. I can't ever say that word, demonetized, or you know what I mean. But but yeah, so this is Obatala or Oshala. This is an Orisha, and I just wanted to highlight some Orishas. There's actually, I think about there's more Orishas that I did, but I'm just highlighting this one because I really like the way I did this one. It was different from my regular art. Here we have one more because I do have some personal ones too. I have 1818 Fear. This was one I created when I was feeling like I was getting overwhelmed with what was going on in the NFT space. Like I was so used to like constantly struggling, constantly trying to prove myself, that I was like, yo, like all this success, all this happiness around me, how do I overcome that? And that's like a weird trauma response where it's like you see good things happening, you just have a fear of like, failure. And I know I'm not the only one that experiences that in general. I know there are women all over the world that experience that. So I have a few personal things where I go through moments where I'm afraid of things going wrong, or when something is good that's happening, I'm scared waiting to see if it will mess up. But instead of bottling it up inside myself, I usually try to put that into my art and have that emotion go out. But to explain what the numbers mean, the numbers are, I'm sure you guys have heard of angel numbers. I like to put the numbers in the back. So just for anybody that like happens to come upon my art, like, whenever you see a clock and you just happen to look up and it says 444, 111, 222, I want it to be one of those messages from the universe that really helps people, helps people to think, okay, I'm doing the right thing. I just got to keep going. You know what I mean? So that was why I did that. But yeah, this is the eBay series. It's been a long journey. I'm so happy that I got to 54 last year, 2021. And when I realized that, I was like, wow, that's the most I've ever drawn in my life. Like that's the most I've ever like really focused in on my art. In the past, I was, hair, cosmetology, makeup. So I was still in the art industry, but I really didn't tap in as much as I could have, So this is one that I created, Artist Mantra. I love this one. So this is Artist Mantra. I call this a guide for all artists. And it basically shows, it's loaded. It shows affirmations. I listen to affirmations whenever I'm feeling down. And I created this piece when I was feeling down. As an artist, we are very emotional. So I used, different affirmations like I am disciplined, I am selfless, I am love, I am light, I release ego, I am organized. Like, it was very, very intentional. I feel like as artists, we really bring our soul into our art. Like, it's like it's a portal to our soul, So I'm just happy that you guys get to see this, and that's how far I've come. Now we're in the 55th event. as promised, I said that I wanted to do better than I did last time, and I wanted to create something that I never did before, and I ended up creating Eco. Now, Eco wouldn't have come to fruition if I wasn't in the NFT space. It is a generative piece. It's generated in the fact that every trait is randomized, but everything is hand drawn. I like this a lot. I had to add this to my artist journey because I've been in the NFT space for a year or so, so I've been seeing a lot of generative art, and I was just like, okay, this eBabe series is supposed to document my journey as an artist and really, show how different people can be. And I was just like, okay, this is amazing. I have to have this. So Hiko is the generated eBabe. And I hope that makes sense. But yeah, it's the generated eBabe, and it consists of 5,555, and it's the 55th eBabe in the eBabe collection. And like I said, each eBabe is better than the last. I am putting it on Solana because I want it to be as inclusive as I can. There is a lot of financial bridges that we have to pass for us to really get to the masses. I know that sometimes Ethereum is a little bit too much for people that are in different countries. I'm from Nigeria, so I really do understand that some people won't be able to collect my art because the dollar value is way more than the Naira value. So if I wanted to get some of my art and it costs like 200 plus after the cost of the art for gas fees, that's just, it's just not including everybody's financial situation in that, and growing up from Nigeria and then coming to America, I'm able to really identify and understand that, like, I've already been to that moment where I don't have enough to even participate in school attire, and like just looking like my best because I just didn't have enough. So I got to understand it firsthand how people, navigate through that. Here, so I did it on Solana because Solana's gas prices are like less than 50 cents, so you only literally get in the art. But Eco is a collection of quality and iconic hand-drawn, randomly generated art of essence created by me, Tired and Shoes. Eco stands for equal, quality, queer, and original. So it is very inclusive. I am a woman, so hello, I am a woman, but like it is very inclusive. So the fact that I added queer and all the and equal to it, it's really simple for me. I feel like if you want it to be inclusive, you can. It is the most simplest thing, and having so many things come against me, I'm able to realize, I know how it feels to be excluded, so I just try my best not to exclude anybody. So here's the roadmap. Season 2 merch. I really want to get into the fashion industry of NFTs. So I'm loving the space because it's really making me think outside of the box of how exactly am I going to do this? How am I going to do the smart contracts? And really challenging myself. I love it so much. And of course, I have the eBiz gallery so they know the lore and everything else. Here's my team. I would like to highlight them. It's me, the artist, Cyprian, one of the developers, Yinka, Dr. Lemney, Nena, and Big Gallery, which is our other developer. And yes, and I'm actually going to tell you guys how to get on Solana, because I know it's a little bit of a learning curve, but we're in Web3. I believe that with Web3, you cannot stay in just one blockchain. You need to move. That's the whole point. The whole point is to move and basically try everything new, try something new, don't get left behind. And here's just basically telling you how to get an Eco. So for you to get an Eco, you will need a Phantom wallet. Here you see it right next to my MetaMask wallet. You have to have a whole new wallet because Solana is on a different blockchain. It's not Ethereum. So you need to get Phantom wallet, download it. It's just like any other wallet. You create your wallet, get your secret recovery phase, keep that safe, add it to your extension like I did right here. And then you get your Solana. So the way you can get your Solana, you can get it from Coinbase, you can get it from MoonPay. It's the same thing as getting Ethereum from from Coinbase. So it's literally the same thing. You get Solana from Coinbase, get it from FTX, get it from CoinGecko, MoonPay, and then you send it to your Phantom wallet. So once you've done that and you sent it to your Phantom wallet, you go back to eco.co, mint now, and then you'll be able to connect your wallet to the website right here. Select your wallet, Phantom in this case, and there we go. I don't want to show anything, but yeah, that's the basics of it. I believe, let me start the camera. I just want to get a chance if Yinka has anything to ask me or anything else. Yinka, look at you.
Hey, Kyle. Yes, I got the unicorns because all you women are unicorns. You know, you're all special. And my daughter wanted me to have it so I can showcase it because it's from her paternal grandmother that passed away. So she wanted to show support for all the international women in the space. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate you, Tyle, and the work that you're doing in this space. For such a young person, you've been revolutionary and pioneers of a lot of things that artists are doing in this space, and I really appreciate that. You've been the one that really formulated and created that community bond, especially when I came onto Clubhouse and was able to meet you. As you said, you involved your community in a lot of your pieces and directing you with your pieces. So I think that's fantastic. And now everybody is doing it, right? But you were the first people to actually do that. You know, as a young person, and when I say young, you're very young, you're probably young enough to be my daughter, if I had you very young. But, you know, as a young person who's in this space, you know, you're finding that this space changes so many times. What are some things, some advice that you would give some individuals who are looking from the outside in and are thinking about participating as NFT artists as well?
Okay, I would say honestly to create a community. However way you can do that. If you're an introvert, because I do know some artists are introverts, even being a part of a community is a lot because you get to just have somebody to bounce things off of, and then whenever you do drop or whenever you do, you know, want to actually participate, you have people to support you. When I first began, Yinka said, I started in Clubhouse and I listened for a little bit. Make sure you have that moment where you listen and you really try to learn. Have like maybe a month or 2 weeks or so, just really listen and take in as much as you can, and then start to speak. Just be patient with yourself because it is a new thing. It's like nobody really knows what's going on. So when I first started, I got on Clubhouse. I was actually already on Clubhouse because I wanted to figure out how to get my art on in the traditional art space, which thankfully I'm able to say I was there at the right time, right place. Everything was right, you know. So I was there whenever it actually boomed on Clubhouse. So I was listening for a month, and when I feel like I got to know a little bit more, I realized that I wasn't able to connect with those that were speaking as much because they didn't really understand me. So I decided to create my own community. My community is called Shoelace Gang because tie your damn shoes. It's interchangeable. It's like together. So I decided to call it Shoelace Gang and just have artists, anybody that was willing to learn, that wanted to just chill, that wanted to just do art together and also listen and, you know, learn together basically. So I created that community, but the people that came in, they were part of the community and they were able to bounce back and talk to each other. So if you don't want to create a community, you can just be a part of one. And I feel like that's very, very important. Like you said, it moves so fast. You can be one of those that that just, you know, comes in once in a while. That's okay. But just make sure you stay a little bit on top of things so you don't, like I said before, don't get left behind. But also be patient, because I know there are some artists that have been in the space for like a year or so that haven't dropped because they want to make sure that their art is at the level that they want it to be. So don't rush. Just as long as you know what's going on, you know how it works, you know what to do whenever the time does come. So I would just say, be present, be patient, and create your community or be a part of a community and just participate, because everybody's learning at the same time. You're muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh my God, technology, right? I'm over here talking. No, I just want to thank you very much, Tayo. I really appreciate you coming here and presenting. Wanted to remind everyone that you can find Tayo's collection at ebabes.co. That's C-O. And that's ebabes, EBABES.co. There we go. All right, so you can find it there. Support the sister. She's a young, wonderful artist who's making a name in this space for herself, and she just recently dropped the eco, so you want to go ahead and tap into that. Now, Tayo, I know you mentioned that you wanted to transition into fashion. Tell us just a little bit about that.
Yes. So I've been noticing, it's like, because the NFT space is such a new space, you can literally have everything that's already happening in real life. You can have fashion, real estate, all in the Web3 ecosystem, right? So of course we need fashion. I've been to a few in real life events, and I think that's a very much needed thing. I'm ready for it. I'm just excited for it because fashion is a big thing for me. I love watching fashion shows. I love participating in it. I love just, dressing up and dressing up other people. With Eco, I wanted to be the brand, of the eBabes story. I'm still going to be creating the one-of-one eBabes, but I also want the Eco to be literally the brand for NFTs. I want to be able to combine that with Web3, either with tokens or with participation or something that really makes it fun for the users and it's a utility, and I have amazing designs already. So I'm excited to really venture into the fashion space very much.
Awesome. And if people wanted to connect with you, how can they reach you?
Yeah, you can reach me on everything at Tayo Damn Shoes. That's TAYO Damn Shoes. I'm gonna tell you how I got that name. There was this lady when I was in cosmetology school that didn't know how to say my name, and it was very annoying because I was constantly telling it's 2 letters, Tayo. Not 2 letters, it's 2 syllables, just Tayo. It's nothing really hard for anybody to say, but I was able to say everybody else's name, and I just did not like the fact that I was constantly always having to correct somebody to say my name. And that's a lot of things. That's the thing that we always deal with as immigrants. Since I'm Nigerian, it's like there's always that like, oh, I don't want to say this word, so I'm just not gonna say it. So it's just like, if I try my best to learn how to say your name, you should try your best to learn how to say my name. It's a 2-way street. So somebody was like, Tayo Shoes. And I was just like, oh my gosh, just call me Tayo, but the name stuck and I like it. I was like, okay, it helps people, remember how to say it, what vowels to use. Instead of saying Tayo, it's Tayo. So Tayo Damn Shoes came from that. And I love the fact that it came from that. Don't like the fact that I didn't know how to say my name, but I just thought it was a good artist name just for, people to be able to remember how to say it. It's Tayo Damn Shoes. I know it's a curse in it, but it's okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Well, all of you can connect with Tayo Damn Shoes on Twitter, IG, and Clubhouse as well. So go ahead and connect with her. get into eBabes. It's a recent generative drop that she just put on Solana. And how much is it right now at Solana?
It's one sold on Solana that's roughly 90. As you know, the prices go up and down. And I also want to say, you guys, don't be afraid to get on Solana. You know, if there's nobody on Solana, if you don't feel like your art belongs in the ETH space or you're getting lost, get on Solana because, you know, just create your own space. Find a place to create your own space.
Awesome. One last question. Someone, Water Girl Raw, wants to know, is it costly to have a team? Advice for someone who's just starting out.
It depends on the contract. I would say that. So it is costly because you have to pay for things on the developer side. So like, let's say, you know, just fees that you won't be prepared for that are just random, like putting your art on the blockchain, especially if it's a lot. There's fees that comes with that. There's, you know, little things like domain names, getting an LLC, like things like that. But depending on the contract, you could pay the team up front, or you could also do it where it's like, whenever it gets certain amount of sales or whenever sales starts to kick in, you get royalties. So that's what I love about smart contracts. You can put all of that in the smart contract where it does it automatically, and you won't have to be the one that's like actively, you know, living it out, like taking it out there. So I would say for your team, just make sure it's people that really rock with you, that really support you and understand what your goal is, that have time to actually, like, you know, participate and do it actively. And people that are just there for you just as much as you're there for them. I made sure my team members were people that were already in my community. They were in the shoelace game when I first began. They were also owners of my collection, you know. So I had that connection already, where it's like you already understand the lore of the story. But if you want to go branch out, you can also just make sure that they understand what it is that they're doing it, and also it's in a smart contract. Make sure you have them sign a contract before. And yeah, it's costly. Everything is costly. You gotta make money. You gotta spend money to make money. But you know, I feel like you can do it. Water Girl. Love you, by the way.
Thank you very much, Tayo. Really appreciate it. All the best for you and success. And also happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day, y'all.
All right. Wow, that concludes our day. Gonna bring up Natasha. Natasha, wow, that was a lot of interesting women across the globe and their artwork. Yeah, what did you enjoy?
Oh, well, I just enjoy the art and hearing the stories behind the creation and the meanings, especially we were talking about the angel numbers and just hearing all the little details and like the inside backstories with the collections. I really enjoy hearing that. I think that's a great part of this, is that they get to connect with their audience. Because, you know, when you're in a digital world, sometimes with NFTs and you're on Twitter, you don't often get to speak and show your art at the same time. So I think that's really the best aspect for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with all of that. We had fantastic women from Ghana, Nigeria, in the US, as well as Chile and Portugal, and then back to Nigeria. And I think that was around the world, right? And back again. So I really appreciate all the ladies that presented today. Want to tell all of y'all, happy International Women's Day. Let's celebrate women throughout this month, not just today. And let's show our appreciation by tapping into the projects and the works that they're doing. Make sure you join us tomorrow. We do have another event that's planned for tomorrow. As you know, this is a month-long celebration. We want you to tap in. Go ahead and purchase your ticket by going into womenofblockchain.org and purchase ticket. It's $25. That will give you access to the entire event. It will also give you access to the Discord. We will be jumping into Discord at around 12:30 Eastern Standard Time just to discuss and go over a recap of what we experienced today. We will have some of these artists on stage with us as well. You can join us on Clubhouse at the club Black Women in Blockchain, or you can join us on Twitter at BW Blockchain, and or in our Discord, where we will have a hybrid of spaces and events going on at the same time. Join our Discord because you'll be able to tap into so many good gems that we've embedded in there. You'll be able to connect with the speakers. You'll be able to connect with the sponsors, as well as find out some other breaking features that we have that we would be presenting to you throughout this event. We do have NFTs that are that we created specifically for this event that we are going to auction off, and some that we're going to give away. So we want you to tap in. Thank you, everyone. Join us tomorrow for, what is it, Natasha?
Table Talk Thursdays.
Wednesdays.
Is it Wednesday? Did I skip a day? It's going to be Wednesday, Worldwide Wednesdays. We talk about all the things in Web3 and the global aspects and community of Web3 on Worldwide Wednesdays. That's tomorrow, y'all. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yes. I know the week goes by so quick, but thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Enjoy it, and happy International Women's Day once again.